Nithyanandam. Today morning, I'm going to record my video for the meditation for this week, what I'm working on. I do a combination of positive 12-step program. My sponsor is Swami Sri Nithyananda. And Rudradinam is the space I hold. And together I create my meditation for that week. And this month we do step program with Positive Anonymous. And the first one is we admitted we were powerless over unwholesome behavior, that our lives had become unmanageable. So that's the theme for this month. And then the theme for this week is, I'm going to bring up the Rudradinam space on Facebook, and that way fb.com, if you go to Rudradinam, the verse for this week. So this is week 4, and the shloka for this week is Yamisam Krishanta Haste Vibarsayas Thave Shivam Giritratam Gurumahi Shipurusham Jagat, which actually loosely translates to ward off my enemies with mighty arms, bless us, show us the right path, and destroy not the innocent. And the Akashic record meaning, which was delivered by Sri Swami Nithyananda, is our masters have the sagacity to empower each mantra with technique for physical cure, mental upliftment, and spiritual joy simultaneously. So that being said, what am I going to focus on is the homework I was assigned. I am with the associate degree program in Science of Inner Awakening with Sri Nithyananda Swami, and I love him as my teacher because he allows me to pursue my path, which is Shakta path. It's like a worship of the feminine force, which gives the ability to do the right thing, but at the same time pursue my path as an expansion through the wisdom he guides me. And ours is online, our Holliston Nithyananda Sangha, which is part of Sri Nithyananda. Our listing is 1121-Holliston Nithyananda Sangha, HSC. My space is to create Gokul space, play place, essentially, because that's what Shiva in Brahmanda Purana calls Lakshmi space, which is the female energy that goes in through the breathing space. Siddha Lakshmi is about creating sweet memories. So my goal is to create sweet memories. And in that, he says in Brahmanda Purana that her graha is Gajendra Bhavani, Gangadhare Gokule. That is, like she's born, her residence is at Gajendra, which is element, all 5 elements. The Rudra mantra for that is Om Hreem Panchavaktraya Vitmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. And Om is the welcome space. You open your mind, body, speech with purity of intention. And Hreem is the sweet perception in the depth. And when you go into the mantra further, is Vakta. Vakt means elements. Pancha Vaktraya. Raya is the force or essence of the 5 elements. And Vitmahe, that is he's the holder of that space, 5 elements, in complete control of those 5 elements. Mahadevaya Dhimahi. He sends out the blessings of divine source of all sources to manifest power inside us. And that vibration I ask to be manifested through me. So that's the spot I hold for Rudra meditation. And in that, this week is about having a teacher who would guide us into understanding and working through. Like I said, the, the thing is to empower each mantra with technique for physical cure, mental upliftment, and spiritual joy. So, when people I'm watching from US all the stuff that's going on in Tamil Nadu and people being jealous of each other. That's the space they are holding. That's why they are trying to pull down, because it's a crab mentality. When you try to hold somebody, bring them down to our level so we can attack them, that in the long run would not serve anybody. Instead, if we uplift ourselves and go to the level where we can serve each other, that is another way to manifest power. So instead of gravity or pulling us down, use enlightenment or pull ourselves up. That's one way to make it like a cognitive behavior therapy. That's what I would teach in CBT. But another way I'm going to say it so that it'll make more sense. Sometimes like when we come across challenges, we don't understand how to process it in a way that is sweet for both us and the receiving person, right? So one of the homework I'm doing is like, I apologize for the phone call. I'll take it later. So that's the meditation space I'm holding. And in the Brahmanda Purana, Shiva talks to Vishnu and he's telling him how to get rid of misery. And he is invoking Siddha Lakshmi. So he says her qualities he's describing. So he's saying, Pratame Triyambaka Devi, Dviteye Vaishnavi Tata, Triteye Kamala Kanta, Chaturte Surasundari, Panchame Vishnupatnikcha, Shashte Vaishnavedata, Saptame Vararoham, Ashtame Varadayini, Navame Kandatrishula, Dasame Devadevata, Ekatiji Siddhi Lakshmi, Dwadase Lalitatmika. Okay, so let's go into again breaking down, because I am pursuing the female path, which is the Shakta, and the energies are every energy in Indian goddesses. If you want to understand, is our breathing space. If you understand that, you would know why some are ferocious, because sometimes you need ferocious energy to attack people who are very hurtful to us, right? Because you don't want somebody else to control our breathing space. If by chance somebody comes and says something that makes us feel very hurt, of course you're going to take a stance that's ferocious. So all the ferocious energies out there is to get rid of those things that comes into our breathing space that's painful. And this is the spiritual way, okay? So today is what? Today, because I think Ekadashi is 28, so that's the completion of sweet memories. So if in case something is happening that's preventing us from holding sweet memory on the Ekadashi, we need to really work through that. And I can probably elaborate on this whole prayer so you guys would understand. This year, my major project I started on Dviteya. So I tried to see lunar cycle where I'm sitting. So it was Vaishnavi. So unit of Vaishnavi. What is Vaishnavi? Vaishnavi is the lineage of Vaishnav. What is Vaishnav? Vaishnav is perception. So in the depth, if you're perceiving something and you're one with the cosmic consciousness, and our will and divine will is in one space, that is Vaishnav. And Vaishnav the negative forces that prevents us from perceiving better. It's really listening. So the right ear and left ear, they call two demons are there. One is called Chanda, one is called Munda. And Chanda is mentally distorting the fact. So your mental distortion prevents us from perceiving better. Munda is the body taking control and perceiving it differently, so not able to understand the truth. So the Vishnu, which is the depth, he pulls out, like it is considered the male energy, because when you work through and do something with it, it is like, the perception way, like, your plan is male and action is female, and it happens in everybody, whether it's your male or female, it doesn't matter. Right side is our female side, left side is our male side. So we work through this all the time. Like, you are compassionate to some beings, that is your female side. You are ferocious and work hard, that is the male side. Okay, so now to come back to this, the state where I'm holding this year, because when I opened my major project, it was on Vaishnavi. So Vaishnavi, they say, is the energy to create proper behaviors in people, because it is to work through and create the wholesome behaviors. Okay, so that kind of made sense for me this year. So I'm working through that, and the new prayer I'm working on, which was during meditations today, I understood the way to say it in the same prayer. This Brahmanda Purana, it says, Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadake. So Mangala is like, auspicious, all that good things that's happened. Shive is when we animate with our breathing space, we become live, right? That's Shiva, Shive. But if in case the breath is lost, like, the last breath we took, we become Shava. So when the life is lost, or whatever we don't pay attention to, it becomes lost to us, and that is dead space. So to animate that space, Shive, you need to have force. What is the force? Is the memory of sweetness. So when we act out something that creates sweet memory, we make it come alive in us. Okay, so this is another way to say it. And then, if people, there are two groups of people: logical and magical people. Magical people don't need convincing. Whatever I said now, they got it already. But the logical people will question, and will question, who am I? Like, I went to the temple, and that there was a lady who said, why are you following this teacher? He is not good enough. So I said, no, I connected with him. It's fine by me. So the second thing she says is, you must be a housewife. That's why you have all the time in the world to do this. On the contrary, I work full time, and I'm a full time mother. I work and I see 230 patients per week. I'm a physician. So then she says, oh, how successful are you at work? So this is the third question. Like, I'm like thinking, why is it important for me to validate her? Because that thinking, that stuck thinking, I want to get rid of from her. But at the same time, I'm coming to a space where I don't need to convince her. So I told her, what is, does it even matter? What is the point in this conversation, right? Like, so I told her, my space I hold, I work with addiction, is to give a space to my patients so they come and spill their gut out and really weep and be in a space that they think they're home with me. And that space, I don't need to care whether I'm successful or not. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at creating a space, safety space for them, so they never need to feel judged. So that's enough for me. That's what my mother held for me in when she was alive. Right now, she's not alive. In energy, all the divine beings are holding that space for me, and I'm just extending that space to people around me. And then she again started attacking my guru, and I told her, I said, our conversation is done. I told you it is according to Veda, Brahmanta Purana, I'm doing all this. And my worship is Vaishnavi Devi. She didn't even hear half of the stuff I said, but instead went again and again to the person who makes me understand this better, because he helps me perceive these truths, even though it is like written everywhere. For me to understand it, I needed him to transcribe or translate to me in a way that kind of made sense to me to understand how I need to do it. And he tells me I am his future expansion of that daughter space, like great, 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 great granddaughter space. That is through the highest self of life itself, Shiva. So when he says it that way, it made more sense to me. And I'm recording this because of all the controversy that's going on in Tamil Nadu. And the other thing in America we are seeing is people are in poverty not because they don't have resources, they don't have money. It's because of bullies. When you have a bully that prevents prosperity reaching the common man, the bullying thought form has to be disintegrated. And I hope all the divine forces work together so they dismantle these bullying tendency in India and take over these um, like dadas, or like the people who have the power to destroy another person's life. So I am hoping this meditation and the way I'm talking to make sense in a way where I teach cognitive behavior therapy with my addiction patients, because they are destroyed by their environment and they show up in action as addiction, because that's the only way by destroying themselves they can cope. And I am hoping this reaches everybody who is a bully in India. Please stop it right now and try to build another person. Give power. Don't be a vampire and take away the power. In India, there is a very famous story, Vikram or Vetal. So be the Vikram, not the Vetal. Okay, and the resources all are very rich in India. You don't need to make money, just need to make peace and help each other. And I hope this is a testimonial for my teacher, and I hope people leave my teacher alone, my family in India, who is the expansion of him alone, because he is my soul, a piece of my heart, and also you guys raised him, so he's a piece of you as well. We take so much pride when we watch him do the lectures here. All my patients, I let them watch him. We learn indirectly. And from today, our Holliston Nithyananda Sangha will be committed to doing testimonial videos. So we will tell you what all we are expanding through him. Purnamidam Purnamadam Purnamudachyate Purnamavaya Purnamevaya Guru Shishyate Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sarvam Guru Paduka Pranamatu Nithyanandam. Please forgive me for all the mistakes I made. It's the best I